So, oh, here. All right, guys. Good morning. Good morning, Ryan. Look, I know you and I will be together all day today. Good morning, Kevin. Good morning, Swagala. Amy. Bilo with the fresh haircut. Clay, thanks for being on today. John, good to see you, my friend. Josh Sullivan. Good morning. Paul Sidney. Good morning. Cecile. I saw you changed your background. You had the FFL logo and then it disappeared. All right, let's see. Who did I miss here? Let's see. Amy Hillier, good morning. Brandy, good morning again. And
Good morning.
You for your patented good morning. GP, what's up? Christy Polsak, good morning. The great one, good morning. Theo, good to see you. And then, of course, I know I missed our guest, Tomas. So good to see you, Tomas. Thank you. Yes. You look very important there with your setup, the big camera, the big. I know you're got us on the big screen, so.
You guys hear me?
You're a little faded, but we can hear you.
Okay, perfect.
No, we can hear you perfect now. Nope, you're good. You're good. Don't change anything.
Okay, cool.
So, first of all, Clay, you go by Clay instead of John, right? Or does it matter?
I do. Either works. So, but yeah, Clay. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So we have Clay, who is the lead specialist with Lead Concepts, and then we have Tomas Leitenbauer.
Yes, that was perfect. You hit it right on the money.
I'm not gonna lie to you, I didn't practice it. I'm not gonna lie, I did.
That's okay.
Yeah, Clay Leitenbauer, who's client support with Lead Concepts. So first of all, thank you guys, you gentlemen, for being on today. I'll skip through a lot of our pageantry, if you will, and we'll come back at the end. But we will go through Mr. Bilo. Any good news you have before we give these gentlemen the floor?
Oh man, just proud of what everybody's doing, and just start out to a good week, and excited for the weekend, and just a big shout out to Pitts. Had a great week last week. Way to go, Pitts and Renee, and it's just awesome to see the continual growth, man. Just outstanding.
Yeah, it is. And Tim, Mr. Modesty over there, guys, wrote his first annuity, our first annuity of the year, $290K. So it gets us started out with over $30,000 of production to start the week. So looks like this should be a record week for us with all the stuff that's going on. So Tim, congratulations to you on your first one. I tip my hat to you. Hey, just in about 10 or 15 seconds, can you tell everybody how difficult that process was to get that annuity started and written, pretty much? And I'm being facetious when I say that.
Yeah, no, I was about to say, you want me to say something hard, brother? It wasn't hard about it. No, guys, real quick, what it was an existing client that was a mortgage protection, and wrote her a Mutual Omaha IUL, and then she said she had just retired. So I just asked the question. I said, now that you're retired, and she's 59, so I knew she wasn't collecting Social Security. So, and I asked her, I said, you must have a bank full of money or something. I said, and good for you. And she goes, no, not really. I said, so do you have any type of anything that acts like insurance outside of insurance? She goes, well, yeah, I've got my retirement, but I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I said, so what's your biggest concern for retirement? And I said, is it outliving your money? Because her mother lived to be 100, and her mother just passed away. So again, it's just finding that information out. So that was her biggest concern, especially for annuities are really good for people who are just getting ready to retire or are already in retirement. So anyway, guys, I'm telling you, it was a simple process. She gave me a statement. I said, hey, let me get back to you in a couple of days. So I sent it up to AMS. They actually had it back to me later that afternoon. And the great thing about Athene is they gave her a 20% bump. So her 291 is actually going to be right at 350,000. So she liked that, because the thing of it is she lost from December 31st to last month. She lost $30,000 in her retirement. And I just asked her, I said, well, if you don't mind me asking, how much of that can you afford to continue to lose? And she goes, not much. And I said, well, yeah, she goes, we need to get this done today. So again, the illustration was great, guys. Showed it to her. One thing led to another. She goes, I need to get this done today. So
pretty simple process, nothing complicated. You've never sold an annuity before. Pretty simple stuff.
I had to get trained though.
Say that one more time.
I had to do the training though. So I recommend everybody going ahead and doing that. The first part of it is just a 5 exam question. So it's 50 questions. As long as you pass it by 70%, you're good. go ahead and get that done. I mean, we all have free time, and again, watching Survivor ain't going to get that training done for you.
Yeah. So thanks, Tim. I just wanted to put that, let people know it's not as complicated or as intimidating as people think it is. So
Corey, I was really looking for the hitch there the whole time, and there wasn't.
There isn't. Yeah, and AMS is phenomenal. Just the fact that we have AMS here to be able to resource Sean Rosario, guys, it's pretty incredible. So
can I ask a quick question?
Go ahead, Brian.
Tim, this might be dumb, but I don't care. When you said statement from what, her investment account, or?
Yep, that's correct. And she gets one every month. I believe.
They get a monthly. Everybody gets a monthly.
I just took that. Yep.
Awesome. So, congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, and we'll discuss that at another date too. But I just wanted everybody to know. I knew Tim had never gone through it before. They're not complicated. We'll because we have guests, we'll move through that. But congratulations, Tim. GP, any good news to yourself and your team?
Yeah, just happy the team is here. We was able to talk to Neil and get the other portion of our setup connected to us. So that was exciting to hear, to start hearing about those results. Way to go, Tim. I mean, that was just fantastic. You guys are continually killing it, and just excited about learning about lean concepts today. So
very good. Thanks, GP. Appreciate it. Last, certainly not least, the great one, Mark. Good news.
New month, finished strong on the last month as a team. Definitely excited about Tim's big news. That is awesome. That inspires me to get that test done now. So that's been on my to-do list for 2 months and I haven't done it. So my fault. And I probably missed some opportunities over that. So everybody take heed to what you heard. It wasn't that hard. Existing client, and he truly helped the lady. So great story. Excited about that. Excited for Trevor Lowry, newer agent, working a full-time job, got out and made some things happen this week, threw up some good numbers. So really just looking forward to hitting this month hard, getting back at it. Got some new lead stuff working. Hopefully those will start hitting in the next 2 to 3 weeks and get things back to rolling again. So just excited about everything going on.
Awesome. Appreciate you. And Gregory, congratulations being number 1, 9,600, which we'll go over that, but no easy feat. We have some monsters on our team. So for you to knock off that top spot, congratulations, man, publicly to you. Way to go. All right. Last thing before we have our esteemed guests go over their stuff. Guys, if you need me to share my screen at any time or give you hosting, let me know. I think most of us at this point here get at least been on you guys' website, but I wanted to publicly tell Amy, thank you. We know administrative day was earlier this week and you got a lot of love on Slack, but thank you for all you do. We appreciate everything you do. I know you just take it in stride, but it's much appreciated. And you're the glue that keeps this thing moving. So thank you. Much appreciated. All right. So very, very excited. Renee was actually the one that set this up. So Tomas and Clay, we appreciate you guys being on. Again, if you guys need me to give you hosting, let me know, but the floor is yours. You have Clay Davenport, lead specialist, and Tomas Leitenbauer. I'm going to keep saying that so I get it down. Client specialist with lead concepts. Gentlemen, floor is yours.
Awesome. Hey, Clay, you want to get the ball rolling, or do you want me to give a little rundown on it?
Well, I was just gonna say, so I'm actually here. Tomas is actually in sales, so that title needs to be updated. I'm simply here as support for him. So he's going to kind of give you guys the overview of the program, and then I'm assuming typically with these kinds of presentations, we'll do Q&A. And if it's okay with Tomas, I mean, it's super informal. So if you guys have a question about something he's talking about, feel free to just interrupt, ask questions, get clarification. I'll be here supporting him, so I can add to his answers if I need to. But yeah, just you guys ask questions. We want to make sure that you guys have all the details you need about our lead program. And then I'll probably cap it off with a little bit of extra information about the 2 programs in particular. So Tomas, if you need me, just let me know, or if you guys have a question, I'm happy to answer and add to it.
All right, thanks, Clay. Yeah, just to give a little break, a little rundown on how the program works is, so for the mortgage protection leads, we would want to mail the freshest week of data And we do send that out with first class postage, just so you guys are going to be the first ones on the in the door on these leads. So we target new homes and refinances with mortgage amounts of $60,000 to $450,000. And that includes the freshest week of data. Now, the cost for these leads is going to be $730 per 1,000 we mail out. So we're looking at 73 cents a mailer. And the turnaround time from when these leads will start coming back to us is about 2 to 3 weeks from the day it mails out. So with that being said, once the leads come back to us, we'll scan them and upload them into a lead link portal where you'll be able to see those leads. And we'll also email you a PDF version of the scanned lead image itself. So we have a couple different programs. So we have the new data mortgage protection. That's where I just went over the freshest week of data. We also have the retro data program. We normally start about 90 days back, and we run it to the newer data to get you those leads as well. And we send those out standard postage. So that's going to be $570 per 1,000. So we're looking at 57 cents a mailer. The turnaround time for those leads is about 3 to 4 weeks from the day it mails out. So the turnaround time is a little slower. But with that being said, Clay, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, so if the team has been on the website, essentially what we're talking about are A quality leads. So that you guys have access, being, an FFO company, you guys have access to all kinds of different lead programs and lead vendors. Ours specifically, we only generate leads through direct mail campaigns. And just real quick, Tomas, I can't do it. Can you give Tomas screen share and ability? And Tomas, can you pull up the catalog? Do you have access to that
I'm actually not on my computer right now. I'm on Tino's computer, so I'm not sure if I have access to that right now.
Okay, no big deal. So we'll be sure to send all this information to you guys, so y'all don't have to write it down or remember it all. But yeah, so we're doing direct mail.
Just send it to me. I'll get it disseminated out to the team. Tomas, if I just gave you hosting, so.
Okay, perfect. I'll see if I can locate it right now.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're doing direct mail leads, and these are going to be A quality leads. So our company structure, we don't do any kind of B leads. We don't do a buy for lead program. We don't share leads. We don't do second chance leads or anything like that. I'm pretty sure you guys have access to companies that provide those kinds of leads. We don't do that. So we do exclusivity in 2 different ways. We do exclusive leads on any mail campaign that you order. So meaning any lead generated from your campaign that you pay for is exclusive to you. It's not provided to another agent. So we don't have anything on hand to sell you today. In addition, those mortgage protection counties are exclusive to you as well. So basically the way the process works is it really starts with availability. So when an agent comes on board with our services and they say, I want to make it relatable. Let's just say they want to mail 10 counties in their area. Essentially, it's a handshake deal. So if they agree to mail those counties every week, and the price will be based on how much data, how many closings fit in those counties, as long as you mail those every week, we do not let another agent in those areas. And that's not unique to FFL, that's company-wide. So for every customer that we work with, whether it's an independent agent, a captured agent, or they work affiliated with any company, 1 agent per area. That's the standard policy. So obviously that kind of builds up. If you give it away, we have a waiting line of people trying to get back in. So that's the challenge with the mortgage market, which is why we opened up the retro data. So there's nothing different. It's not retro leads. It's simply retro data. So instead of mailing somebody who purchased a home today, we would mail somebody that bought a home 3 to 6 months ago, let's say. And all that does is it helps agents get leads in their area, because we have, the same 5 states all the agents are calling for: Texas, Florida, California, Nevada. It seems like the majority of the calls come from the same areas. So we want to try to do everything we can while maximizing the budget that you guys are spending and being fair to you and our current agents. So there is a challenge in that mortgage market with availability, but really the starting point is there. And in that email will be a Google Doc, which will detail every current available county across the nation that you can mail. So anything missing off of that list will be a county that we currently are supporting with another agent. But you always have the option to mail the retro data. Now, the response rate on that market is a little bit lower, but the close ratio is much higher. Because if you're doing leads right now in the mortgage market, you know that the competition is fierce. A lot of these people are getting 20, 30, 40 letters in the first week. A lot of agents are going after the exact same people with every lead vendor out there. So it can be pretty challenging as far as the competition, which is why the retro market usually can be a little bit more advantageous as far as just getting in front of people that are not currently being bombarded by every other agent in their area. So that's a little bit of clarification. Really, the only price difference in those two markets is going to be the postage, what the post office charges us for first class mail as opposed to standard. But it looks like Tomas has you a letter there. But is there any questions on that so far?
Percent of return, 1.5%, 3%. And is it the same or better or worse with retro?
Yeah, so the new data, that would be high. The new data is going to be about 1 to 1.5% is the typical response rate. So that would be 10 to 15 leads for every 1,000 pieces mailed. Retro data is typically, and a lot of these response rates are going to vary heavily depending on where you're mailing. So if you're mailing in Texas, it's going to be much different than Oklahoma or Louisiana. But generally speaking, new data is 1 to 1.5. Retro data is typically 6 to 10 leads per 1,000. So it's about half.
If you were looking at a specific state, could you tell us the response rate within that state?
We can. So we can break it down historically. We don't like to go too far back because the market changes so much. I literally probably turn away 50 mortgage customer requests every week and have for 3 years. There's that many agents trying to get in. So obviously those agents are going to other companies. So we have seen the response rate and the competition, especially over the last year, it's skyrocketed. So I bought a house about a year ago here in the Texas area. It's the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And I got 30 letters the first week I moved in. And I moved in on a Tuesday. And it was fierce. They probably kept coming for 6 weeks, I would say, and I still get them. And I've been here for about a year. So that's all that to say, if you were mailing, the middle of Arkansas, you're probably going to get a much better response rate just because the number of people and agents is not as heavy as Miami-Dade in Florida or something of that nature. So you got to take into consideration those things. And that would be true for any lead source. That's not unique to us.
So better rule. Sorry, Ryan. So better rule than maybe a predominant city or larger city, just because that's where everybody's mailing.
Absolutely. The more people that are there, the more closings that are there, the more agents that are going to be there. And in our experience, agents like convenience for the most part. So, I don't have a lot of agents calling me to run Northern Florida just because it's such a big area and drive time. But what's become very, very popular and what agents are having more and more success with are dialing the leads and closing over the phone exclusively. And for those agents, it's really opened up the game as to what their production can really be. So I have a few agents mailing entire states by themselves. I have one in particular that's mailing 3 states by herself. She's probably got a weekly spend of, $3,000, and she never meets with them in the home. She never door knocks. She doesn't travel outside of her home. So it's pretty crazy. And she's not unique. She was when she started a couple years ago, but that's not a unique experience anymore. More and more agents are kind of nailing that down. And I think it's just going to contribute to the competition. Because obviously, if she can get to those people by phone, she's going to beat anybody trying to door knock that lead or run it in person or do travel trips or gather their leads before they start working them. They're way behind the curve on that kind of deal.
So let me ask you, talking about lead spend. So sorry, so if we were to give you a dollar amount, say weekly, you guys would just essentially match that dollar amount as long as it meets the 1,000 minimum, correct?
Well, so with the mortgage, because we're limited to the data available in these particular counties, it doesn't have to be 1,000 piece minimum. Now, we do have to hit a minimum. We have to get at least 500, and that has nothing to do with other than making it make sense for us and for you and meeting the postage minimums. But you know, if you're getting a 1% response and you're mailing 500 pieces a week, you can expect about 5 leads per week. So most agents that are working full time 6 days a week or 7 days a week, that's not going to be enough, which is why we have to introduce the retro market, final expense, Medicare in some cases, annuities, and then other lead vendors. So we don't trash other lead vendors. We feel like that there's a place for all of us. So we don't need to be your only lead source, but we should be a piece of it.
Clay, quick question, just to make sure that for our audience, MedSup, mortgage protection, final expense, annuities, and then recruiting leads is pretty much the primary lead source for our type of business, which is supplement, MedSup, and of course, final expense.
Yeah. Yeah, and those are going to be, we primarily deal in senior care insurance. So that's going to make up the bulk of 90-something% of our whole business are going to be those particular markets. And then we do things for like realtors, or if you have like a customer contact list and you want to send a postcard, we can do things like that. But the majority is going to be senior market leads. Yep.
Hey, Clay, real quick on your mortgage and also on your final expense, can you guys put, like, for instance, our name at the, you know, I'm looking at your flyer right here, your mailer, you know, for a quicker response or something along that line, please call, you know, Clay Davenport directly, or whatever agent's name that we want to, you know, that whoever's putting the order together. Are you guys, can you do that as well?
We can, and as long as it's in black ink only, there's no additional charge. So in addition, we can put, for immediate assistance, contact agent name, agent phone number, or visit a landing page. We can put a QR code on it. We can do all of those things. Now, obviously, that's going to affect the response rate. The more avenues you give the prospects to visit something digital platform, it's going to affect them not filling out the mail piece. But I think these days that probably should happen, because you're not necessarily dealing with the senior market only on this particular campaign. You could be getting a 20-year-old or a 25-year-old, and they would much rather hit a landing page. So yeah, we can do that. It's no additional charge. It would be unique to your letter. And Tomas, if you'll scroll to the bottom just to kind of touch on the name on the mail piece, even if you don't add any of those options, we follow all compliance regulations with every state. So we will not mail anything that's illegal, even if the customer requests, which they do. But every letter will have your name on it. And then that disclaimer at the bottom, if you have any issues with the lender name being on the mail piece or anything like that, all of this is public record. So we're not doing anything sneaky. We're not going around the law or anything like that. So your name is on the letter, not so that we're trying to get you guys in trouble, but it's to verify if there's an issue with the letter and somebody submits it to the state, they know that they can look up your name and verify that you're licensed to sell insurance in that state. So it's just to cover you and us.
Clay, I have a question.
Yeah.
Can we provide our own business reply mail material and landing page to customize the mailer?
You can, as long we have a compliance team on staff. So as long as everything meets the compliance, we could essentially just be your print house. So everything is under the same roof with us. We don't farm anything out. So we do all the printing, all the list gathering. We're a list vendor. We do all the production in-house. So we can control it. But yes, if you have your own mail piece list and you just need us to print and mail it, we can do that
as well.
I'm sorry, say that again.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Okay. Where do you get your mortgage list? Do you compile them yourself, or?
We don't. We use a vendor
to get your mortgage. Okay.
Yeah, we use a mortgage vendor to do it. Yeah.
And can you guys see this card I pulled up as well?
Yeah, we can see it, Tomas.
Okay, perfect. So this is a card I actually created for Renee herself. I know she uses another lead vendor where she really likes the card. So I've been testing this piece out a little bit too. And it's actually cheaper too. So we can certainly mail this out for you guys too. It's going to have all that public information on it as well. But as you can see here, we have her name and her phone number here as well. And then on the back side, it's also going to have her name and phone number as well. So they're kind of seeing it in two different spots. So that may generate a couple extra calls as well. So that's just another option we have.
You're welcome, everybody.
Thank you, Renee.
Well, and if I could just kind of
Thank you,
piggyback
Renee.
on
That's
that,
awesome.
and maybe Renee or you guys could speak to this better depending on what kind of lead vendors you're using. But in our experience, when we started putting the phone numbers on the leads, the feedback we've gotten from the agents is that a phone call directly to you guys is 5 to 10. It's worth 5 to 10 direct mail leads where you're trying to chase down the prospect. And with spam calls out there and everything you're having to compete with, people are answering their phone less and less. So if we can get them to call you directly, I mean, that's about as high a quality as it gets.
Probably about a third of my leads are call-ins.
Wow. Yeah.
Great. Yeah.
Can I ask, can you expand a little bit more if you were to tackle an entire state on, I guess, first question is, do you actually lock out all counties within that state? You know, or is it just the available counties that you're speaking of that are locked out? And then also, do you resell your leads like after a certain period of time at all?
Yeah, so really it's up to your budget. So you determine exactly what you want to lock out. But I can tell you that the more rural the county, especially if you're not running it in person, you want to pick up those first. So basically what I would do is, what state are you in, just so I can use it as an example?
Missouri.
Missouri. Okay, so we essentially, let's just assume we had nobody mailing the state of Missouri. Essentially what I would do is I would take that county, run a count for 7 days, sort it in an Excel file by the smallest to the biggest, and we would select that way. So we would determine, okay, what is the agent's budget? If they can mail all of it, great. And you would lock it out. Nobody else could mail with our services, whether they're FFL or not. But we would essentially, if you said, well, I can only mail $800, I would take all the rural counties and I would start moving towards the bigger counties until I hit your budget, your estimated budget. And then that's what you would lock out. And as you're building your business, maybe you pick up the rest of them. Now you move to another state, and we just keep doing that until you can't, your budget, you know, is maxed. The issue that we run into with our leads with agents isn't, we don't get feedback about the lead quality. I can't do anything with these leads. These people aren't paid. We don't get that. We get, I need more. So our issue is we just don't have enough availability because we've been onboarding agents for 5 to 7 years that it's just, the agents are frustrated. They have to go other places to get more leads. So, but yeah, and then it doesn't matter how old a lead is, we never resell it. So that's essentially what you're buying from us. So you're buying the leads in the areas, we never resell them. Like I said, I have nothing on hand to sell you guys today.
You want to go ahead and put an order in for me real quick? I'm just kidding.
Anything else, guys, on that?
Yes, I have a quick question on the list again. So if somebody's got 10 counties in Missouri locked out, could I provide you a list that covers some of those counties? Would you mail for me?
Yeah, so that's an interesting situation that we have to be put in. In that kind of a particular case, you would have to provide everything. You'd have to provide the mail piece, you'd have to provide the data, you'd have to provide all of it.
So it'd have to be 100% custom. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And Clay, you guys obviously, I know we're talking about mortgage protection right now, but you guys obviously do final expense as well, right?
We do.
Okay.
Yeah, and I
You
think
said
Tomas is gonna
570,
get that piece.
570 per thousand, right? $570 per thousand, 3 to 4 week return.
That's for the retro
retro.
program. Mm-hmm.
And when we get off the call too, I can send you guys over the final expense catalog as well if you want to take a look at the mailers we have for that too.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Did I
can
hear
actually, I can pull that up right now too.
Did I hear that you guys do recruiting mailers also?
We do. We have a recruiting mailers. We have a vendor that can compile a data list of agents in a particular state or county. Those are more of a custom piece because we want it to be branded specifically for our customers. So there's quite a process that we have to go through, especially if you're going to put something with FFL on it. All of that has to be approved through the agency. But yes, we do. We have a template that is a starting point, but the color scheme, pictures, logos, images, content, all of it can be customized.
Tomas, can you send me an example or some pricing on the recruiting?
Actually, I'm gonna do you
absolutely.
one better. Tomas, instead of you, I mean, you can send that to Renee. Renee, thanks for asking, but that's exactly the reason why I brought that up. So if you gentlemen don't mind, I'll be reaching out to you guys either this weekend or sometime next week. We have a recruiting meeting every Wednesday. And you guys have done such a great job. I'd love to have you guys have the opportunity for our business there as well.
Okay, sounds good.
I have a question
Go ahead.
real quick. Now I lost my train of thought. Go ahead, Ryan. Go ahead.
No, it's Paul. Hey, question.
Paul, sorry.
How do you compile your list for the final expense mailers?
Yeah, so everything outside of the mortgage data is going to be on a consumer database list. So essentially the vendor that we use, we're a list broker. We don't provide the data, we don't compile data, but we've spent 30 years going through using every data source out there to really kind of narrow down on the most accurate one that has the best success for lead response. So it's all done through consumer database and it's done through public record. So the database that we use, and I don't mind giving it out, it's KBM knowledge base. They essentially, and this would be true for any list vendor, they create a matrix to push data through it, and it has to hit a certain number of records. Every data source requires it to hit a certain number of records to meet their accuracy rating. So they're just doing it by public record to determine age, income, and accuracy. So with every lead source or with every vendor for list, there's going to be a percentage of them that are inaccurate for all kinds of different reasons. The ones that we use, it's 4 to 6%. So out of 1,000 pieces, 40 to 60 of them are going to be undeliverable for some particular reason.
All right, got my train of thought back. That's what a notepad's for. As far as counties that are available, is there any way that you guys, because I use your service now and it's been great for me, and other than calling or emailing Michael or anyone at your office, it would be nice to be able to get online, look at certain states, because I just picked up another state, to be able to find out what's available or not, and then put in a request that way instead of asking what's available.
Yeah.
Is there anything for that?
There is. So let me answer that in two ways. Number one, our portal is actually being updated. I don't know when it's going to be launched to where we can have online orders placed, so you guys don't have to send it through an email. But in addition, we currently have a Google Doc that Michael can send to you, and it's updated in real time. So essentially it's a Google Doc link, a hyperlink. When you open it, it details all the current counties that are available. So it's updated every week. So anytime you open it, that's going to be the most accurate source to understand what is or is not available. So if you open that link, if you checked it every week, every Wednesday, or whenever you decide to do it, anything listed there would be available. So you could just use that source, check it on a regular basis. And then as you see things populate, if you see things populate, you could request those and Michael can apply them to your order.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, you bet.
Just out of curiosity, when it comes to the mortgage mailers, since you guys do final expense also, did I catch it right that you could potentially fill, like say I wanted to lock out 5 counties, they're really small counties, and I just want to get as many mortgages as I can out of those counties, but that doesn't meet the minimum, so to speak, or it doesn't meet my budget even. Would you fill that in with final expense?
Yeah, so the challenge there is it's completely two different campaigns, list vendors, 2 different mail pieces. So we have to treat it as 2 different orders. So unfortunately, we can't, do 333 from the mortgage and final expense and annuity to make 1,000, unfortunately. So yeah, for each one of those, mortgage would be about 500 pieces. final expense, annuity, Medicare, agent recruiting is a minimum of 1,000 on those because our database is much larger. So we don't really run into issues with those other markets of not getting enough people. In most cases, we can put you in any county or zip code you want to do and anything outside of the mortgage protection. Good question. Anything else, guys?
Good. This is really good. Any other questions?
Yes, I have one. I'm trying to figure this mortgage protection thing out. So you said doing like weekly campaigns and all of that, and this goes from you to all of the other mortgage protection vehicles. Doing weekly. What about in a county where they run out? I've been doing 500 or whatever, 1,000 pieces, and that county runs out.
So the only,
and I'm still doing it, have it set up to do it on a weekly basis. How's that work?
yeah. So the counties don't typically run out. The only reason it would run out, we experienced some of that during the COVID season, and it was because people were not working in the office. So we would have gaps in our data because there was nobody there to submit it. But essentially what we're doing is we're gathering all the new home purchases and refinances that close in that area every week. So we're always mailing brand new closings. We don't have this big data pool and we're only pulling 500 from it until it runs out. So we're always staying in front of the new data or the new closings. So there's always, they tend to be pretty consistent. If a particular county set gets about 500 records, it is going to fluctuate from week to week. Maybe one week it's 415, the next week it's 570, but it's going to hover around that particular mark. If for any reason there was just no data or you only had 3 closings, it's because there's something going on with that county structure that particular week that is enabling or not enabling them to submit the data for public record. So essentially what's happening is a person will buy a home, it'll close, they'll send all that information to the county, and then the county publishes it for public. So you literally could go down to the county and gather all the same data that we're doing. It's just that's a headache on agents and they're too busy to be, getting all this together, which is where we come in.
I know a couple of us have tried to look into, I've taken Facebook certification courses. I've called vendors where you can buy but by the time you buy the list, do your, go to whoever and get your card, maybe you can copy these cards and do all that kind of stuff. It's 30, 35 cents more than what these guys are able to do because they're buying these lists in volume. Each person's name is a record. So every record we might have to pay 35, 40 cents for. You guys are getting for 8, 9 cents, blah, 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 because you're buying in volume. That's why it doesn't really behoove you to set up your own program a lot of the time.
Yeah, and even, bulk rate is offered as far as postage to anyone. It's not necessarily just because we have a company that.
But we don't have you guys' pockets, is what I'm saying. You guys can buy $100,000 worth of records. We might be buying 2,000 or 3,000.
Right. Not to mention the time it takes, and you guys aren't selling whenever you're trying to compile data lists. So.
Right. This is good stuff. Tomas, I'm glad you were able to share the screen. I think it made this a lot more effective. Renee, we still got you because I know you're at a seminar right now.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. I got a couple more minutes.
Just a question. And Clay and Tomas, this is not to step on you guys' feet at all because Renee is our #1 agent by a pretty good stretch right now. I'm trying to catch her. But Renee, what percentage would you say is, because it sounds like you're having a lot of success and you've had a custom card put together essentially and all that. Obviously, Clay and Tomas have been great to work with. And thank you for reaching out to them to get this set up. What would you say percentage of your business is that comes from these guys as opposed to other sources? And it also sounds like you're having a lot of really good success by having your information on your card. If you want to take about 30 seconds. Thank you.
Yeah, so I mail a little heavier with another vendor, but with Lead Concepts, I have a bunch of smaller counties where I'm trying to pick up the scragglers that nobody else is mailing to. Plus, I do have them mailing in one county that I'm running already with another vendor. One, so that I can have a different mailer going out. So theoretically, the two main ideas are, number one, lock that county out to keep somebody else from running in your county. And number two, you can send, if you've got two vendors in the same county, you can have a postcard with one and a letter with other. So, those that may not be partial to the postcard that you send out may respond to a full-on letter. So, sometimes it might be a good idea to, try a month or two with one. And if you don't feel like you're getting as much success, maybe go with the other one. But I think it's a smart idea to kind of double up so you can keep other agents from running in your area if possible. But as far as my writing, I'd say my lead concepts is between 20 and 30% of what I write.
Awesome. Thank you, Renee. Much appreciated. And thank you for getting on today too. I know you're pulled in 10 different directions. So any last question for Tomas or Clay? And gentlemen, I'll be emailing you guys to see if you guys can hop on our recruiting meeting and kind of do the same thing. We usually have about 15 to 17 people in there that are wanting to build organizations. So obviously you guys are pretty heavily partnered with FFL. FFL directly, just so you probably know this already, but they directly hit all of us in our mailboxes all the time with your stuff, which is part of how this came about. And you guys did an excellent job of presenting yourselves and all that other stuff today. So it's much appreciated. And I'll be sending an email out to you guys for the recruiting meeting as well. One last question for these guys before we let them get about their day. Perfect.
Do you have a double postcard format?
Oh, sorry about that.
Okay.
Say that again.
Do you have a double postcard format, or is it all letters and envelopes?
Well, that one postcard we created for Renee, we have, but it mainly we send out the letters with the private business reply envelope in it.
Okay.
We used to do the double postcard was a huge piece in the industry years ago. The reason we went away from is because the response rate crashed, and we've tried to create new pieces with that particular mailer format, but it's so heavily used in the Medicare market that people are just used to it. They know what it is. They don't fill it out. I think the last time we tried it, we got like 2 leads on 1,000-piece orders. So it's just not advantageous for you guys and your money spent. But I will say for the final expense, it's more of a card format. And that one is going to be a little bit cheaper and more affordable. It's $525, $540 per 1,000. So the data on that is much less expensive, which makes it more affordable for the agents.
Cool. Yeah. I know you guys said you guys will email these data points to me with the pricing and all that kind of stuff. Guys, if you want this, instead of me just trying to put an email together for all of you guys, just Slack me and just put lead concepts in there, and I will email you what they send out to me. When I get that from you guys in Slack, I will immediately send it. Clay, Tomas, thank you, gentlemen, very much for your time, your expertise. You guys made this very simple, much appreciated, and best of luck to you guys. And you'll hear from me later today.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, guys, so we'll get into recognition here. Unless you guys want to hop off, that's completely up to you. Let me go ahead and share my screen and take the hosting back. All right, I should be good there. Yeah, that was good stuff. All right. There we go.
All right, guys, I'm gonna head out. Have a good day.
Thanks, Renee. You too.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye. All right, guys. So obviously, you guys know the getting your information into HCMS is very important. Your pay will now be affected by that. So make sure you're getting your information in. Next level training, there are only 3 spots left, 24th and 25th. So it's coming up this weekend. Everyone that has signed up will get a letter letting you know, or excuse me, get a Slack message, and we'll start a group just for the May training. So you guys will be kept abreast of where we'll be having the training, etc. Let's see, Hall of Fame coming up on the 23rd in Rosemont, which is Chicago. For those of you guys that aren't aware, I know it's a lot being out 23rd, 24th, and 25th. So probably the closest one we'll have here in a little while. So wanted to make sure you guys are kept abreast of that. We did have a couple of people, Brandy and Charisma, that actually attended, I believe, last week. And I know I talked to Gregory, got nothing but good news and good results from that, if you will. Kicks for Kids is something that FFL has been doing the last couple of years. It's a really cool program where you can donate shoes to people that need it. It's a pretty neat program. You guys will see stuff posted all over social media. The 12th is the Kicks for Kids donation deal at the Dream Center in LA. A bunch of us had an opportunity to go there to the Dream Center last year, and it is a really, really cool organization, what they do. If you've never looked up the Dream Center or don't know who they are, please look them up. Some life-changing stuff that they're doing down there in LA and a couple other places across the country. I will continue to post this every single day for you guys that want to make donations. All you have to do is click on the link and it will take you directly to the site there. That's June 12th. June 13th is when the summer seminar series, and we'll continue to post this as well. And this will be held at the Dream Center, just like it was last year. For those of you guys that are interested and that would like to attend, obviously register usa.fflusa.com, and then you can see the moniker at the end of that. Again, this will be posted every single day, 7 days a week, for those of you guys that would like to attend. Of course, our meeting schedule, you guys see this week in and week out. Just very quickly, Mondays and Thursdays, the dial session. There's hardly anybody on there for whatever reason, but there are a lot of really good people on there that dial. I'm on there every single week. I always pick up tips and tricks from people to obviously help my results get better as well. Monday Velocity puts on a training at 12:30 Central, 1:30 Eastern for new agents. You guys can hop on there and learn some things as well, ask some direct questions. So if there's something you're struggling with or stuff that you feel like you need, that's a great place to ask outside of our little circle, if you will. Wednesday recruiting meeting, we had Jennifer Madrea that was on this past Wednesday, which I thought was a really, really good training. Some of you guys have actually reached out to her because she's reached out and thanked me. I think that's probably one of the better recruiting systems and processes and programs that's out there, especially for the cost. But just wanting to try to keep things like that in front of you guys to help make your job easier as you're building your organization. Of course, Thursday is the FFL Velocity Team Zoom. A lot of good comes out of that meeting as well. Just getting on there and listening to some top people across the country that aren't even a part of Velocity that are willing to share what they're doing to help move you forward faster. And then, of course, our meeting, our meeting today, which we had lead concepts on, and thanks to Renee for getting those set up. So I posted this, made this flyer and posted this last night. It's apparently some people got something out of it because I've seen it twice this morning on Facebook, which is awesome. Cody Wetzel, for you guys that don't know, has only been here for about 9 months, was going out into the field and figured he has a family, figured there was a better way to do this. So he's really, really, truly figured out the online game or just being able to sell virtually. Ryan, do we still have you on or did you hop?
I am here.
Okay. So you've been spending a lot of time with Cody. And I knew you guys were doing this. I just didn't know where. I didn't realize it was on FFL dials. If you want to kind of, if you're okay with it, just kind of explain your experience of working with Cody and what it's done for you and the 6 or 7 of you guys that are on there pretty much every day.
Yeah. So it is huge. Having a group there to bounce things off. Cody always says, whenever you're dialing, you get somebody on the phone, definitely get comfortable with unmuting, because that creates accountability. On top of it, just getting on there every day creates accountability. You hear Cody, sell live, there's multiple, I think every one of us actually have sold live on there. We just unmute and Cody or anybody gives, tips and tricks of what went well, what didn't, or what could have went better. And it really makes a huge difference when you're doing everything from home. And people talk about it being a solo business. It really is, and you can kind of get lost in yourself and forget why the drive is there, or even just kind of get lackadaisical. And it really helps you stay focused, motivated, and interact with people rather than just staring at yourself in a camera or a mirror. That, as great as that is to do in sales, it's not always. I don't necessarily like looking at myself all the time. So I'd rather have other people to look at and talk to and so forth. And sometimes, you just stay muted and listen. Sometimes I just mute everybody and go to town on dialing. But at least being there, you can pop in and listen to what they're talking about. Some of the littlest things that they talk about, especially for new agents. Like, it is huge for new agents, because you could just pop in there and be like, okay, so why did you do that? Or where did that come from? Or you could see them run through, me, Cody, anybody who shares their screen, you could see them actually go through an order. So if you're curious how an application works, there's so many things that you can pick up. So especially if you're trying to do telesales, it is huge. But I would say that it would help anybody, no matter whether you're going in home or doing telesales. So.
Yep. And I would definitely second that. And thank you for that, Ryan. I know you're on there every day. I'll start to be as well. It was just, I was on there yesterday, and it was absolutely fantastic. There's a lot of people on there sharing information and all that. It was awesome. It really, really was.
Hey, Corey.
Yep.
Hey, just real quick, I've been on there a lot, and just, I do this part time. And so at the moment, and I'm a pastor, I think I told you guys that. And so when I call people, I'm used to everybody looking forward to my phone call and loving that I'm calling, and seeing everybody else kind of like going through the same things I'm going through for a new agent. That's been really, really great. Just going, oh man, I'm not the only one that's getting hung up on, and all of those things. So it's helped with mentality just as a new person too. It's been huge just to be able to listen to these guys.
Awesome. Guys, and there's, and not to beat this to death, but there's 5-7 people that are on there all day. I stayed on there last, and I was the last one on, and it was like 9:30. So I'll be back on there today. I've got 7 appointments set up for today, and in between my appointments or no shows, I'll be dialing to keep my book filled up for Saturday, Sunday as well. So can you guys still see
Corey,
my screen? Yep.
Corey, so is that just the same ffldials.com, like on the
Right.
Monday,
Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah. It's on there. And yeah,
ffldials.com. It's the same place you go Monday or Thursday for dials. Just go to your search bar, whether it's Safari or Google or Chrome or whatever, and type in ffldials.com. Same place, except just click on Mondays and Thursdays, you'll have to click on the room, the breakout. But any of the other days except for Monday and Thursday, all you just type in FFL Dials, and as soon as we get off here, I got a phone call to make, and then I'll be getting on. And I'll be on there. I guarantee you guys, I don't have my daughter this weekend. I'll be on there probably till 9 or 10 o'clock tonight.
Wow. Okay. Awesome. Thanks.
Yeah. That's why I wanted to put this out there, because I know people don't know that this is out there. It's been blasted all over the place, but a lot of people don't know that this is out there. So I was glad that Neil took this and posted it, and then somebody else shared it, because it's only going to help. And the more people that are on there, the more information is to share. And Ryan, I'm sure he'll second this. Even new people that are on there, new people are sharing stuff that they're doing, and it just gives you a different perspective as well. But I could go into some other things that are on there, but I thought this was super important to go over, and I'll continue to relay this out there and put this on our Slack line as well. So
is that 7 days a week? 7 days a week or 5 days a week?
7.
Yeah, 7 days a week. Yeah, almost. And definitely this week, I know Cody has mentioned that he was taking off on Sundays, and usually it was me and a few other people in there on Sundays, but now so me and Cody kind of created a competition with each other. So he's trying, I will say proudly, but maybe by a little bit of luck, I am taking the lead from him. So he's headstrong on trying to catch up. But either way, one of the things that I want to point out, guys, and that is I find amazing about FFL is the people I've met in there are all over the place, New York and Texas and this and that. And so Chris Chavo, actually, I reached out to Chris after one of our meetings, and he sent me Cody's number. And so that's actually how things kind of started. And Cody's like, hey, look, I think I'm going to start doing live dials and so forth. He's like, get on there. I'll help you, and Cody's great about it. Again, you network with so many people, and I've now opened up my my realm of people who who I talk to, which is again huge. So I just wanted to add that's it opens up a whole new can of worms of availability within the learning process. So
yeah, thanks, Ryan. I appreciate that. I'm sure Cody does as well. So All right, in reference to our numbers, people that are on strings, we're back up from 9 to 10, so that's a good thing. Sheila Moore, 2 weeks. Josh at 4. Way to go, Josh. GP, 4 weeks and growing. Brian Smagala, 10 weeks. PZ, 17 weeks. Awesome job, dude. Ryan, 19 weeks. That's awesome. And I know you'll go over 20 probably today. Christy Polsak, 30 weeks in a row. And Christy's seems like she's on vacation every time you turn around, living her best life with her and her family. 30 weeks in a row. Congratulations, Christy. Renee, 54 weeks. Bilo, 62 weeks. And the great one, 67 weeks. Just stepped over 67 weeks in a row of protecting families. And I don't see that streak ending ever. In reference to our numbers last week for just the Genesis crew, Christy protecting a family at 372. Mark at 513, keeping that streak alive. Brian 706, Mr. Bilo 1029, Roger Chrome 1077, PZ at 1236 with 3 families protected. Great job, Paul. Jeff Scott 1272, one of our part-timers. Josh 1524, 2 families protected. Ryan stepping over the 2K mark, 2049 with 4 families protected. Sheila down there in beautiful Dallas, Texas at 2261 with 3 families protected. Trevor having a really solid week at 2861, 3 families protected. We got Brandon Kniff coming out of the stars there at 2948 with 2 families protected. And Renee absolutely crushes it again, 8154, 6 families protected, and officially, unofficially, our agent of the month for this month, even though we have a day left. Renee will be our agent of the month, and she doesn't even know that yet. But 6 families protected, and just doing a lot of amazing things there. And coming in at the 10th hour, wasn't quite the 12th hour, Gregory said he'd have a pretty sizable week, and everything else that he's doing, $9,660, we're going to call it $67. And some change there. 9 families protected to lead the way. Gregory, congratulations for being in our top spot. I know you're working your tail off, you're training, you're developing, you're recruiting, you're running your business the way you need to. So congratulations for being number 1 for this week. And 35,668 unofficial total with 39 total families protected. Obviously, we put this out there on Slack, so I'll save you guys some time there. Total numbers with our small group that we have down there in the Florida area. With them and us, 49,532 submitted business, 63 total families protected, which in my opinion is probably one of the more important numbers, with 21 total producers. Yesterday, we had a huge day yesterday. Obviously, case in point, Mr. Bilo writing his first annuity. 10% of your annuity business counts towards your final expense mortgage protection business. So Tim's got us set up for a huge week this week. Starting at the bottom here, we got Mark in the 4th spot at 704. Josh Sullivan getting on, continuing his streak, $1,116, 1 family protected. And of course, the boss, Renee, $22.47 to get her week started, coming off of a huge over $8,000 week. And what can we say about Mr. Bilo? $29,100 on his first annuity, bringing our total to $33,850 with 6 total families protected. Of course, our bonus structure, $30K. Renee was a bonuser last month, $30K issue paid. There's a $500 bonus, $40K is $750, all the way up to a $6,000 bonus. Of course, Americo pays their 8% bonus that's paid out twice a year. Writing $45,000 or more on the books with them, they will pay you an 8% bonus on your book. And then we'll just move forward from there. So referrals, etc. We'll get these things posted online. Does anybody have any questions? Anything about the meeting that we had today? For those of you guys that want that information, I've been seeing lead concept pop up. I'm going to email those gentlemen before I get started in my day, and I will get that information emailed out to you as soon as possible. Tim, anything you would say to close us out?
No, just go out there and let's have a great weekend, and you guys enjoy life as much as you can, and try to go protect as many folks as we can. That's the name of the game.
Yes, sir. Congratulations again, Tim. It's good stuff. All right, Williams, the great one.
Hey guys, we're starting a new month. Tim has set us up for a freaking record month, record week for sure, but a record month can happen. So just keep that in mind as we're at the right. Those of you that are trying to jump to sales manager, keep on rolling. This is the time to do it. Springtime, people are receptive to home visits now, and I'm transitioning over this month from phone to in-home for sure. So just take advantage of the opportunity, man. Don't forget about direct mail. That was a fantastic presentation this morning. I learned a few things, and I'm from the industry, so that was excellent training. I'm always glad to be here on Fridays because I always get better. So let's keep it rolling, guys.
Thanks, Mark. We appreciate you. And then last but certainly not least, GP, take us home.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that we're learning here. Mortgage protection, final expense, IULs, all of this stuff. It can be really overwhelming. All these different types of lead vendors and lead types and all of that. But give yourself a reality check. Ask yourself, am I doing everything that I can do to be successful? Yeah, it gets a little frustrating, but ask yourself that. Don't blame it on anybody else. Look at yourself. And I had to do that with myself over the past couple of weeks. And for me, yeah, the leads, I love the leads. Leads are great and all of that. What is my strongest thing? Referrals. While I'm still going in there and I'm getting 1 out of 20 in the leads, I'm still calling leads, still buying leads, still calling them, still getting the same, all of that. But I like referrals. I started doing my referrals. My results are getting better and better and better. Give yourself a reality check. Do what you know to do, what you're comfortable with doing while you're learning everything else, and then let the other part flow. Don't let this thing tear you up. This is why we have the team, because so many people are doing this and so many people are doing that. Look at Tim Dog, 29,000. Phone call. Hey, Tim Dog, how do you do this? And all of the resources we have. Do not give up on yourself or on this business, because everything that we're looking for is in here. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Love you guys. Peace.
Well said. Appreciate it.
Well
I couldn't say
said.
it any better. Guys, Weekend Warrior time. Have a great weekend. If you guys need us, let us know. And as soon as I get that lead concept stuff out, I'll get it to you. Brian, I'll see you in a few minutes. Bye, guys. Bye for now.
Yep.